Today I will show you how you can transform this portrait photo into this more dramatic and more interesting one. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another fun episode. Today we will have a lot of fun and you will learn a lot of tips, tricks and techniques to be able to create this kind of dramatic portrait effect to apply it on your own photos, on your own projects. So without further ado, let the fun begin. Alright guys, as you already saw, this is our photo for today and this is me on a photo. Obviously I have just some old helmet with some glasses and old jacket, and that's it, just an ordinary portrait photo. And I was lit with just one light with one beauty dish in the front of me. So today we will transform this photo into much more dramatic and much more interesting one just by adding some effects, so you will see. So first thing that we need to do, we need to cut out the model. In this case I need to cut out myself out of the background. So to do that I can use variety of tools in Photoshop. If you're not familiar how to select anything in Photoshop and cut it out later, you can watch my tutorial about that on a link right here. So I already did that to save the time for this tutorial, already extracted myself out of the background, and now the next step is to create a new background instead of existing one. So I will create a new layer just below the current layer by holding Ctrl or Command key on a Mac and just click on the new layer. That's it. I will call it, actually name it background. Okay, and now I will fill it with a 50% gray just for a start. So to do that I will use a keyboard shortcut, Shift and Backspace, and choose 50% gray, and that's it. So this background is similar like the original one, but I will leave it like this. And now I will populate this background with some smoke. So to do that I will use one of my smoke brushes, cloud brushes that I created a long time ago. So if you're not familiar how to create your own cloud, smoke, dust brushes, you can watch my tutorial about that topic right here. Or you can go to my website and you can go to my store and buy my set of cloud smoke brushes just for $1. It's really cheap and you will save your time if you're up to it. So I will just press B on the keyboard to go to brushes and just right click and choose my cloud dust brushes. So I will use this one, second one. Let me see. Yes, this is a good one. So I will make it bigger and I will change colors. I will use a little bit brighter than black, and another one will be around 50% gray. Doesn't need to be precisely 50% gray. So that's it. So first I will start with this black one, just paint like this. Then I will change by pressing X. I will swap the colors and I will lower the opacity. I will maybe use 40% or so and just paint with some other color. Then I will just swap with the darker, with the brighter, and just play with this. And I can make the brush a little bit smaller, maybe 20% opacity, and just play until I'm satisfied with this kind of effect here. Alright, for example, I'm okay with this. Let's use just 10% opacity and I'm okay with this. I can always go back to this layer and add more variety to this cloud smoke effect. Okay, but for now I will leave it like that. I will create a new layer just above this one, just by pressing a new layer, and I will call it debris. Okay, and now I will add some debris on the photo just to make it more dynamic. And if you're not familiar how to create your own debris brushes, you have a tutorial about that too. You can find it on a link right here. And if you're not up to creating your own brushes, you can again go to my website and download my set of debris brushes just for $1. So let's go right here and right click, and I have 3 different debris brushes. I will use this one and I will change the color. I will sample the jacket brownish color like this, and I will just paint, maybe make it bigger, just paint here like this, and that's it. Now I will go to filter, blur and motion blur, and I will just see like those debris are flying all around, so something around that. And I can create a new layer and make even more bigger ones. So let me see, something like this or even bigger. something like this or like this, and then go again to filter, blur, motion blur, just blur it like this, and maybe blur it with the Gaussian blur too. So just add a little bit more depth. That's good. And I can go and make this one darker or brighter just to add some variety of luminosity on two different layers of debris. So I will use curves adjustment layer, clip it to affect only this one, and let me see if I make it darker, bright, no, darker, it's better. So this is something nice. All right, now we will start with the fun part. We will start to add some bruises, some wounds, some cuts on my face, some dirt, etc. And we will make myself much more dramatic. So let's do it. For that, we will go and I will create a new layer above myself. So just create a new layer and I will put it in a multiply blending mode. So I will do that. And for painting, I will use only a cloud brush. So cloud brush, dust brush that you saw in the beginning, and this debris brush. So those two type of brushes I will use for everything today, just to have more fun. So let's go and switch to cloud brush, cloud dust number 2, or yeah, number 2. Let me see. Yeah, this one is good. And I will zoom myself, make it smaller, and I will choose 2 colors. I will use this brownish one like this, and I will use a reddish one. You will see why, for some blood effect, something like that. So now that I'm in a multiply blending mode, I can just start and paint some dirt on my face. It doesn't matter, you can try different variations, paint however you want, like this. Maybe from multiply just to see in linear burn. Yeah, it's much better for this dirt effect, something like this. And I will clip it to affect only myself here. So I will go and make the ears like it's covered with some dirt, etc. Maybe this part of the face too, part of the helmet, like this. For now, we will just paint this outside part. Let me see. Maybe just part here of the coat. And you can do a lot of variations with this. So I will leave it like this for now. Maybe not here, let me see. Or maybe I can make a smaller brush and just add like this. All right, now let's create a new layer. Clip it again to affect only the model here, and I will put it in a multiply blending mode. Now I will use that red color to add those kind of wounds on the skin. So let's first go with the nose. With the red color, 20% opacity, smaller brush. Why I'm using this cloud brush? Because it will add some imperfections. It's not perfect round circle brush. I don't like that for this type of job. So this brush is really nice because it will, each time I make a stroke, it will rotate and change the size. So it will add a lot of variety to my stroke. So that's really nice. So like this with reds. Then switch the brush again, and with the darker one, maybe 10% opacity, just add some darker color. So as you can see, this looks really nice. Maybe like a bruises or so. So let's add some wounds here, like this. Maybe even smaller. And then again with darker brush, just go around this to make really nice effects. So let me see if I zoom it. Yeah, this is really nice. So we can play with this. Actually, guys, I can spend a lot of time tweaking those wounds, bruises, etc. So to make them even more believable and much more interesting. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will just show you some techniques like this, how you can do it. And then when you're working on your own projects, just take more time, invest more time in this details stuff, and make them even more believable. So let's go back and let's finish this a little bit. I will go back to reddish color and just add even more reddish tint here. Okay, this is not bad. And I will stop right here. Let me see. Not bad. So now I will create a new layer again. I just want to have everything on separate layers in case I want to delete something, change something. I don't want to stack everything into one layer. So I will make one cut right here. So to do that, I will just paint with the red like this, like it's blood inside. Okay, just some cut, and then I will switch to that darker color and just paint around this a little bit more around. Like this. If I unzoom it, it's really nice. We can make it better. Now let me show you something. If you switch from, this is in normal, I need to go to multiply. If you switch from multiply to color burn, we'll have some pronounced effect. It's really bright red tone with this kind of really black color around, or you can go to linear burn, have something similar to multiply, etc. So you need to practice and see what works best for you. So I can just go and use more saturated color like this, and then add this. Let me see. Now this is really interesting. So maybe I will come back and tweak this even more. I don't want to waste your time watching me doing so many tweaking of this. Now let's add another wound right here on the chin. So for that I will use, let's create a new layer again. For that I will use debris brush. I will show you how I will use it. So first let's add some dark tone around like this, and now switch to debris. Let's use the first one. Let me see. Okay, let's switch colors, red, and just paint like this. See how nice it fits here. Now let's switch back to black and switch back to this cloud brush. So it feels like I scratched my chin. Maybe I can add even more right down here, but with that debris brush right here like this. Okay, and now let's go back to our cloud brush and just paint it even more. So as you can see guys, this is really nice wound right here, so it's adding the effect. Let me see, we can add even more of these dusts and scratches, etc., but I will stop it right here because I don't want to spend so many time tweaking this. And I can even blur this a little bit, so I can go and use blur tool. Let's go here and blur it just a little bit like this. So I like it. All right, now what we can do, we can play with some colors, we can play with some sharpness, add even more clarity, more drama to the photo, etc. So let me show you how to do it. First, we need to merge everything into one layer with the famous keyboard shortcut that we use all the time. It's Shift Control Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac. And now we have everything on a new layer. Now we'll go to filter and camera raw filter. I love to use that filter, you know that already. So here I will add some contrast. Then I will go and open the shadows a little bit, add a lot of clarity like this, and lower the saturation, right? Add a little bit more of vibrance, but lower the saturation. And now let me show you one trick. If we go with the dehaze to the left, we will make like older photo effect, like it's old photo for some war, etc. But if you go to the right, we will add a little bit more contrast to it. And so it depends what kind of effect are you seeking. So I will just leave it at 0 for now, add some kind of vignetting feather it a little bit and add just a little bit of the sharpness like this. And let me see, maybe saturates the reds, maybe later we will see, and maybe add to the shadows some reddish tint, just a touch like this. So let's go back and let me see. Yeah, I like it like this. So before and after, it's much better before and after. Let's press OK. And this is for now. This is first step. Second step is to go and use Nik Color FX Pro. So this plugin was free for a certain period of time. Maybe you can find the free version still. Just Google it. Or you can buy a newer version now. It's again a payable version. So here I will use a detail extractor. As you can see, it will extract a lot of details. So I will go with the contrast a little bit and a little bit back with the detail extractor sliders. So before and after, it's really nice. A little bit less before and after. And I will add one more filter, and that's a pro contrast. So I will just play with this dynamic contrast slider. So I'll press OK. And now when this filter is applied to our layer, I will just put a black layer mask on it to hide everything, and then just paint with a cloud brush to reveal just the certain parts of the image. So as you can see, this is our photo. I will press Alt or Option key and just click on the layer mask to add a black layer mask. Now I will use this cloud brush, and with white color I will just paint the effect back, maybe with 40% opacity, just on the some parts here. I don't want to paint it everywhere. So like this. And now what I saw is that maybe I can add even more effects. So maybe I should add it before. Definitely we should add it before all of this, but we can add it now too. So just create a new layer, put it in a multiply blending mode, and just create some blood here on a coat, like it's war, so why not? Like this, and then with darker color, just go and paint around, and maybe on helmet too, because it's a detail, just like this. So I will just add something like this, and I'm satisfied with that. I will erase this part here by applying the same layer mask on this layer. So I will just press Alt or Option key and just drag a layer mask here to copy it. So now, as you can see, before and after, this part right here, it's gone. Everything is affected only on the model. So this is third step, and now we will merge everything again together with Shift Control Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac, and go again to Filter and Camera Raw Filter and finalize this. So I will remove the saturation even more, and then I will go to Hue and Saturation slider here and Luminance, and I will go with the yellows a little bit back. I don't want this helmet to be so saturated. And on the hue, I will go with the helmet a little bit towards the orange. I don't want so yellow, so a little bit towards the orange, like this. And go back, add even more clarity, like that. Now we can play with the haze. Now we can decide the mood of the photo. It will be more like older photo, or more like modern dramatic one from a war, I don't know. Maybe I will go for this kind of look. Open the shadows a little bit. Add a little bit of the contrast, and basically, guys, let me see before and after. Yeah, I love it. Basically, that's it. If you like, you can go and dodge and burn this to add even more dramatic effects. So I will just quickly do it. Create curves adjustment layer. That's how I like to dodge it and burn it. If you're not familiar how to use dodge and burn tools or different dodge and burn techniques, you can watch my tutorial about that right here. So I will just quickly do it with, again, with the cloud brush, just to add those imperfections. So I will just go here and make the eyes brighter a touch, like that, like this, and I will burn this part of the face. Let me see, maybe this part of the photo too, why not? And let me show you just before dodge and burn. Before and after, even more drama to the image. So guys, this is it. So let me show you overall before and after. So let's just copy this all the way to the top like this. And this is before and after. So from just an ordinary portrait, nothing special, we created a much more interesting and dramatic portrait from it. Alright guys, and that's it for today. I really hope that you learned something new and useful from this tutorial, and that you will be able to create your own version of this dramatic portrait effect. So if you create something really interesting and fun, put it on Instagram, tag me, and I will be happy to see your progression after this tutorial. If you have any questions regarding this tutorial, please let me know down there in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. Alright guys, if you find this episode helpful, press that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe in case you're not already, and ring that bell icon to get notified about all the tutorials in the future. Have fun, experiment, practice, and see you in the next fun tutorial. Bye bye.